Why was it okay for PPP loans to be forgiven for business owners, but it not be okay for student loans to be forgiven for some student borrowers? Well, there's a technical answer for that question and a political debate about it. First, I'm going to talk about the technical answer, and you have to understand the Constitution gives Congress the power of the purse, not the president. That means the House and the Senate are the ones who get to decide how money in this country is spent. While the president sets an agenda and gives a proposal of how he would like to see money spent, in the end, Congress has to pass a law to make it so. So in the end, the money is up to Congress. Now, in September of 2020, Democrats and Republicans in Congress overwhelmingly decided to spend money on the CARES Act. That was the first piece of legislation during the pandemic that gave millions of Americans a stimulus check, but it also gave qualified business owners who were struggling to keep the lights on and pay their employees the Paycheck Protection Program, which included fully forgivable loans, or PPP loans. The fact is, according to government data, the PPP loan program alone cost U.S. taxpayers more than $700 billion, and the average PPP loan that was forgiven was more than $70,000 per business. So the technical answer to why PPP loans were not only available but also forgivable, but student loans aren't, is pretty simple. The answer: because Congress didn't approve the student loan forgiveness program, which would only have applied to those making less than $125,000 a year and would have cost U.S. taxpayers about $400 billion. The president was trying to forgive those loans on his own through the authority he and the Justice Department believed and still believe he has through the HEROES Act of 2003. Now, as we all know, the Supreme Court, in a 6-3 decision straight along ideological lines, disagreed with that interpretation of the 2003 law. But there's also a political debate over why it's okay for PPP loans to be forgiven and not student loans. It's something the president just talked about last week.
We all supported the Paycheck Protection Program, remember? PPP? Which was designed to help business owners who lost money because of the pandemic. It was a worthy program. But let's be clear, some of the same elected Republicans, members of Congress who strongly opposed giving relief to students, got hundreds of thousands of dollars themselves in relief, members of Congress, because of the businesses they were able to keep open. Several members of Congress got over $1 million. All those loans were forgiven. Now, a kid making $60,000 trying to pay back his bills, asking for $10,000 in relief? Come on. The hypocrisy is stunning.
But those opposed to the president's student loan forgiveness program, including all the Republicans in Congress, praised the Supreme Court's decision to strike down the program. The top Republican in the Senate, Minority Leader Mitch McConnell, said, quote, "The American people know that the Biden administration's student loan socialism plan would be a raw deal for hardworking taxpayers. The President of the United States cannot hijack 20-year-old emergency powers to pad the pockets of his high-earning base and make suckers out of working families who choose not to take on student debt." As I told you last week in this video, the President and the Department of Education are working on a new student loan forgiveness program, this time using another law, the Higher Education Act of 1965.